All right. Hey guys, this is your host Thomas Tyree here from Onthehop podcast. Today, this is gonna be episode 240 for you guys today. I'm joined by my special guest, the host of the Run podcast, Manny Wilson, joining us on the podcast again today. Manny, thanks for joining us, man. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun on this episode today.
Definitely, man. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate you for having me on the pod. Man, I love coming on the pod, chopping it up with you.
Yeah, we gotta have some fun. We got some good NFL topics, and then we'll get to basketball at the end. So the first segment, we'll start off with sharing our favorite NFL games and moments from Week 17. So, man, if there's some favorite games or some moments that stand out to you, let's go ahead and share it, man.
Oh, all right. So look, I want to be biased. I really want to be biased and say the Falcons was my favorite moment, but I can't say that because that game had me so stressed. As soon as the Falcons went up 21 points, I'm like, I just know what's gonna happen. This is what they do. The Falcons falcon. So luckily they ended up winning the game, but I can't choose that one as my favorite moment, even though I had a blast in the first half. Second half was rough. However, the game I enjoyed the most was the Bears and the San Francisco 49ers, man. That was absolute cinema. Like, absolute cinema, man. We seen a showdown on the offensive end from both of these teams, the Bears and the 49ers. Brock Purdy. I mean, dog, I'm on record saying Brock Purdy is just a product of Kyle Shanahan, but he kind of shut me up on any type of slander I could possibly say and call him out for. I mean, the things he was doing with the ball was just tremendous in terms of throwing, in terms of being dynamic and making a decision on his own, taking it in the end zone was crazy. I also thought Caleb Williams was spectacular as well from what the things he was doing with the football and being dynamic in ways that he is. And the flack that a lot of people had for this game was, oh, is there going to be any defense? I can't let that slide because yes, both teams got over 35 points, but the way these offenses work, they're reading the defenses and they're taking exactly what the defense is giving them. Let's not forget, Bears is number one in forced turnovers, and they also forced a turnover against the San Francisco 49ers. Like defense wasn't really like oh, nobody's playing defense at all. It's just these teams were that good offensively, and watching this game, it just solidified that if I'm a different team in the NFC, the last two teams I want to run into right now is the Chicago Bears and the San Francisco 49ers because clearly them boys can put some points up and they can keep and they can make any game a game.
Yeah, I agree with you because that was actually my favorite game, and that man, I knew right when they announced that was for Sunday night last like a week or so ago. I was like,
Man,
man, this is gonna be a cinema. Even though both teams they gonna still try to jock for position, try to earn the one seed. So you know
facts.
it's gonna be a good game, like you said. Caleb Williams and Brock Purdy, they were going toe to toe. Like Brock Purdy, I like to call it when a quarterback has 5 touchdowns. I call it a Brock Purdy. So there was a Purdy five. He had 5 total touchdowns, man, like 4 passing, 1 rushing. I think he tried to do the Dougie in the end zone too.
Yeah,
But the man
yeah.
was they were balling, man. And then like you said, like the play calling like was just so phenomenal. Kyle Shanahan, Ben Johnson, two offensive gurus. And then like you said, like people were expecting like defensive stops. Like, yeah, Robert Saleh with the 49ers, he's one of the best defensive coordinators, and so is Dennis Allen with the Chicago Bears. But like what can you really do when both teams are going back and forth? And like you said, they're reading the defenses, making the adjustments to continue to score a lot of points. And they both scored 80 total combined points. Man, I was watching that game, man. And I was like, I thought the Bears would really go pull it off in San Francisco.
Man, it,
It
it
was
was.
that final play, Caleb Williams in the end zone that you can't really fault him. Like there was
You
nowhere for
can't.
him to go.
That was and that's why I say, bro, that's genuinely why I say, like, all right, people can't say, oh, well, nobody was playing defense. Like the last possession, literally, 49ers won because of the defensive scheme they ran and the way they defended the Bears on that possession. Like, I think I don't have the play in front of me, but just going based on memory, I'm pretty sure Salah dropped three linemen and sent two in, or he had five down linemen, or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe it was four down linemen, but he sent two linemen back in coverage. One was a quarterback spy, and the other was just hovering over the middle and just
Yeah.
looking over everything. And again, I got to look at the film to know the exact number. But long story short, there was only two people rushing Caleb Williams on that last possession. Everybody else was just guarding the end zone, and Caleb Williams still almost somehow made a play, which is just phenomenal on his part and what the Bears was cooking up. But just credit to the 49ers defense, man. They showed up and they locked in. And I mean, it was a back and forth duel, just all game. And man, this was pure cinema. It felt like a playoff game.
Yeah, I agree with you on the last play because yeah, I think it was they might have rushed three and then everybody else dropped back. But
Mhm.
if you only rush three and you drop like eight other players back in covers, linebackers, safeties, corners, like there's no window. The window's already tight to throw in the red zone. So I think
Man.
remembering it, like Caleb Williams threw it. I forgot who he's throwing it to, but then people were complaining online that DJ Moore was wide up in the other side of
Oh,
the end zone. But like you had to. Caleb Williams was already trying to retreat, trying to throw off the back foot. He would have to throw across his body to reach DJ Moore. That would have been an impossible throw either way. So
man.
it was like nothing he could. He tried his best to throw it and get there, but like you can't
Man,
really do much.
that's what kind of drives me crazy because I seen that play and I seen people also complaining that, oh, well, DJ Moore was wide open. And it's like, bro, Caleb has two 300-pound defenders chasing him and he's way out the pocket on the left side of the field. You expect him to turn while he's running to the left and has two big ass defenders chasing him and launch a rocket all the way across to the right side of the field to
Yeah,
like, come on, man. I know quarterbacks in the NFL is extremely talented, but nobody's making that throw. Like, that's just unrealistic to think somebody's making that throw and would even be daring enough to make that throw on a game-winning possession. Like, that's just crazy to me.
yeah, that's facts because when you got that someone chasing you, like it's easy to make the throws and no one's chasing you, but when someone's chasing you, putting the pressure on, and they almost got to him. Like he had to
Yeah.
get rid of the ball quick, but yeah, if you're a Bears fan, you really can't be mad. I mean, I think they only have like four or five losses. You're still in the playoffs, so that
Yep.
was just a game. But hey, that was a test to show you can still hang with one of the best teams in the NFC. Like next
Facts.
time around, come playoffs in a couple weeks, you just got to finish out and close out on the mistakes like that. But yeah, I think both teams should be proud of the way their quarterbacks played, how their coaches both calling plays I think they should feel really good after this game. So for Bears fans, anybody complaining about that throw, like there's nothing you can do. Just
Yeah.
accept it and move on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is true. This is definitely not anything where Bears fans should be like, punching themselves in the mirror and all of that. Like, this is not one of them, man. I think it was just two extremely talented teams. They clashed against each other, and one of them had to lose. And one of the things I really like that Ben Johnson said too after this game is he was saying like he took a lot of the credit for it. And as marvelous as a game that was played and as marvelous as a coaching job he did, he still took credit for that last play of just saying like, I kind of rushed the guys. It was just a little rushed and he was going to call a timeout, but he never did. So it's like I like to see that having a team, being a fan of a team that has an awful head coach, I like to see that type of responsibility. And just I like to be able to see that accountability from a head coach being able to understand his players and understand the situation of football. Because I tell you, boy, it's a different conversation. But having a coach that doesn't know what he's doing out there, it just shows. It really does show. And this was just a true testament of what good coaching can do and what type of game you can get when you have two good coaches and two solid teams playing against each other.
Yeah, and it's probably unlikely unless they advance, but I would like to see this again, like the second round or possibly NFC Championship if possible, because
Man,
that was one hell of a game.
facts. I agree with that. I feel like we'll end up seeing it potentially, but I'm glad these teams both are in the playoffs because I would love to see this happen again.
Yeah. I got two games because that was gonna be one of them, but I got two other games. The first game I'll cover will be I call it the Cancun Bowl. I call it the Cancun Bowl between the Cowboys and Commanders. I mean, both teams is already out. But the atmosphere being there on Christmas Day, like both
Yeah.
teams are just happy to be there, just playing the game. And I was talking trash to some Commanders fans, and they had the Cowboys memes just sitting right in front of me. So the atmosphere is pretty cool, and you could tell
Yeah.
this rivalry game, even though both teams were eliminated, it meant so much to them because they wanted to walk away with bragging rights. And I think that's what NFC East football can be about if the games are really special. Now, this game wasn't special. I think it was good, but It was one of my favorite. Now it was weird because the first half, like we were dialing up, we were firing up on all cylinders. Like Dak
Yeah.
Prescott had a good deep bomb to Cavante Turpin for a 80-yard touchdown or so. But the second half, I was worried because the Cowboys' offense was falling flat. Javonte Williams got hurt with a shoulder injury, and Dak got sacked like 6 times. Like I will give Dan Quinn and the Commanders' defense a lot of credit for putting the pressure on Dak Prescott. The offensive line was falling
Yeah.
apart. Brandon Aubrey missed a crucial field goal, 50-something yard field goal. I was just shocked he missed it.
Yeah.
But I think in this game, the Cowboys did, as bad as they were defensively, they did avoid losing to Josh Johnson, the journeyman, the Commanders' third string quarterback in this game. And they did a good job. The Cowboys did do a good job controlling possession. We won that by a margin in that category. And we delivered a lot on big third down, fourth down conversions in this game. So after the Cowboys were riding a 3-game losing streak, it did feel a little good to get back in the win column to close out the season on a high note, even though you're already eliminated. So I thought that was a pretty good game. But Manny, I want your thoughts on this game because this game I thought was one of the best from Week 17 for sure.
Mhm.
Um, the Eagles versus the Bills, with the Eagles defeating the Bills 13-12. Now, I will give credit to the Eagles defense because I thought they played clutch in big moments throughout the game. That pass rush is something special. And if you're an Eagles fan, I think you have to admit that you were lucky to pull off this victory because Jalen Hurts did not have one passing yard in the second half, bro. I used to call him a one read scramble. I got a lot of criticism for it, but hey, you removed the 2 times he went to the Super Bowl as looking like that when he don't got a good offensive coordinator holding his hand, helping him throughout the season. I'm just saying about Jalen Hurts, but I give credit to the Bills because they did rally back in the fourth quarter. Josh Allen was not 100%. You could tell that ankle was bothering him a little bit, but he still had 2 rushing touchdowns. And the Bills never quit in this game. Now, I will say the decision by Sean McDermott was kind of risky because you go for 2 for the win rather than tying the game and going to overtime. I think if you were Sean McDermott, you could have trusted your defense that didn't allow a single point in the second half. And if you did that route, you would have possibly went into overtime. The game could have been yours. Not only did the Bills not convert on the 2-point conversion, Josh Allen missed the guy. He should have capitalized on that throw. They could have won the game, but now the Bills got to settle for a 6 or 7 seed. So you're looking to play either the Patriots in the first round, they did defeat you earlier in the season, or the Red Hot Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think they could have avoided one of those games because I would rather take the winner of the Ravens and Steelers game as the 5th seed in the wild card. I think you already beat the Ravens. That's a winnable game in Baltimore. I'm looking at the Patriots. You got to go to Foxborough. You barely beat them in Foxborough. I'm looking at the Jaguars. That could be a bad matchup. So we'll see if that comes to haunt the Bills going for 2 rather than selling for the tie going to overtime, then possibly selling for the 5th seed. But yeah, I thought that was one hell of a game between both teams.
Yeah, that was another game that stood out to me big time. I thought it was a bit of a snooze fest. Obviously, there was a lot of defense being played in that game, hence the low score. Josh Allen got sacked 5 times, which was solid on the Eagles' part. Also, they got a game-winning stop on Josh Allen for a 2-point conversion. That was obviously a game-deciding down. So it was a very much a defensive game. But the thing is, like, the way that the Philadelphia Eagles have been getting these wins have just been fraudulent, man. I'm done. I'm done listening to Eagles fans yap about how good they are and how good this is, how good that is. Like the Eagles are fraudulent. When I'm looking at, I don't like to compare. Not to be fair, I'm not one to compare to this and that and this and that. But you can't help but to see fraudulent written all over the Philadelphia Eagles logo every time they play Sunday, Thursday, Monday, Saturday. You can't help it because when I'm watching teams like the Bears, I mean, a solid team right now. Yeah, they got some losses under their belt, 5 losses. But in these games that they lost, the other team has earned the win. When you look at the 49ers, yeah, they got some losses as well. But when you look at the L's that they get, the other teams earn these L's. They're not shooting themselves in the foot every night. They're not hurting themselves on stupid penalties and dumb turnovers and fumbles and silly things like that. No. When you look at the Seahawks,
Yeah.
who's also in the NFC, all these other teams in the NFC that are dominant right now, they're winning games because they are that good. The Philadelphia Eagles are winning games because they are getting the luck of the Irish. They're getting the same luck that Kansas City Chiefs have for the past 4 years. And all of these games, people walk away out of the stadium and jump online and say, oh, well, the Eagles won and fly, Eagles fly. But come on, man. It's just not enough makeup in the world to hide the fraudulent face on the Philadelphia Eagles. It's just not enough, man. And it's being repeated week after week when we look at the box score. And even if you ignore the box score, even if you just look at the play, you look at the quality of play in the games, it's pitiful. It's pitiful. Like this team,
Yeah.
they're fraudulent, man. And shout out to them for finding a way to win games. And I still don't know how the hell they win in these games because
Luck,
there's
man.
times that it's literally pure luck. Because there's times the defense does step up, like they did against the Bills, but there's also times where the defense is giving up 38 points and 40 points and things like that. So it's just I struggle with the Eagles, man, because I see fraudulent written all over. I really see fraudulent written all over. And I know I said 40 points, and it may not have been 40 exactly. That was an over exaggeration, but there are times where teams are lighting up the scoreboard on them and no answer from the offense. We know the offense is the problem. We know the offensive coordinator is the problem, but let's just not act like the Eagles are better than what they are, man. It's not that much makeup in the world to hide that fraudulent activity.
Yeah, I'm about to actually, you made me think. So I'm Googling their schedule, and I know they won at least 5 possession games. So let's see. I'll start all the way from September when they beat the Cowboys. I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they lost 5, 6, 7. Or 8. So we're looking at 8 possession wins this year, and they won 11 games.
Come on, man. Yeah, 8 out
That's
of the 11
crazy.
games, one
They've
decided
only
by one possession.
And the only teams they've
Come
blown
on.
out, the other wins that they got that weren't one possession, you'll like this. The Commanders, you see their record. The Raiders, you see
Come
their
on.
record. And the New York Giants. So you ain't putting
It's a
away
damn
when you
shame.
play all these other teams, you're in tough scraps to win games. Like the only teams you've blown out are teams that's gonna have top 10 picks.
Man, literally. And yeah, it's a damn shame. Anytime they see some competition, the Eagles are scrambling for survival.
Yeah, hey, look, you won the division, be my guest, but I think they're getting out in the first round.
Yes.
They get a good matchup, they're getting out in the first round. And I can't stand. That's one thing about that Eagles game when they beat the Bills. Yeah, I'll give you credit for winning that game on the road because I didn't think they could win that game. But Nick Sirianni, can you just shut up? Like the man always wants to make it a story about he is the most unlikable person in the league. Like players, like bro, they call him Big Dom. I know you see that security guard watching the
Yeah,
big
big
guy. They
dog.
call him Big Dom, yo. He always acts like he's the big head honcho when he walks by him.
Hey
And then he
man.
always talks. I don't hear no talking now. Bro, the Bills wasn't even talking trash. You didn't score 1 point in the second half, bro.
Bro, yeah. I mean, he didn't throw a yard. You're a
Yep.
Tom, bro. You're a quarterback. You
Yep.
are a quarterback.
I know. I know.
And you don't throw for a yard?
Bro, I know.
One yard.
And the thing is, Nick Sirianni, like, yeah, if you look on paper, wins and losses, statistically, he's one of the best coaches. But I've been telling people if Nick Sirianni was as good as he is talking wise, and he's this so good head coach, why didn't you take the head coach? Why didn't you take the offensive responsibilities, taking the play sheet for Kevin Patulio, and you could have helped Jalen Hurts become this so-called good quarterback again
I'm
if you were a
saying.
good head coach?
I'm saying we see some good coaches do that because let's not
Yep,
forget Lions offense was struggling. Lions offense
yep.
was piss poor all throughout the season. Dan Campbell took over. They became first in points. They became first in
Yep.
yards. They became first in rushing. They became
It,
first in like 4 different offensive stat categories when Dan Campbell took over that offense and had to like. That's when we started to see J Mo go crazy again. Jared Goff putting up 200 yards games again. Like that's the quality of a good coach. Is can you take over the defense or can you take over the offense and control the game, call the game, and keep your team in a winning situation?
It's crazy, man. He got an offensive background. He used to be the offensive coordinator for the Colts. Like you got this background. You used to be a quarterback coach. You got this background. Take the play sheet from Kevin Patulio, and you help this
Man,
Eagles offense. But
man.
he gonna learn when AJ Brown requests a trade in the spring, and
Oh
they
yeah,
fall apart.
he's out of there. Soon as they get smacked out the wild card, AJ Brown, he's out of there. AJ Brown, he gonna go ahead hit up McDermott on the Seahawks, and he's out of there. He's gone. He's gone. And I think about this, kind of going back to Sirianni. Your quarter, I just can't let it go, bro. I know we got more things to discuss in the show, but I can't let like Tom, has this ever been done before? A quarterback throwing
See
a
that?
starting quarterback a Super Bowl. I'm sure the way we manipulate statistics and all of these things now, I'm sure there's a record for a Super Bowl quarterback never throwing one passing yard and a half. I'm sure Jalen Hurts got to be the first in that. The way we be picking apart different statistics, there can't be another QB, especially at least not in the last 20 years, at least, that has not thrown for a single yard in a half of football. That I just a starting quarterback not throwing for a single yard and a half of football. I
Bro,
just
I wish I could find the stat, but it's funny you said that because I seen that on Twitter. It was like the last time somebody did that, like have no passing yards in the second half and the team won, like no matter the caliber of the quarterback. I think the last time somebody did was like in the late '80s, early '90s. Like he's actually Jalen Hurts is. Let's see. Let's open the rest of the article. Jalen Hurts is the first quarterback in 35 years to earn this distinction in a win. So you
yeah.
know something went wrong there.
See, man, and I'm a Jalen Hurts guy. Like, if we're talking previous 5 years of what Jalen Hurts is doing, I'm vouching for him every time, and no ifs, ands, or buts. There's some concerns there if you want to compare him to Mahomes and Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Burrow, all of these things. Like, there's some concerns there, of course. But I will vouch for Josh Allen if we're talking about a 5 year span, 5 year window of what he's been doing in the NFL. But I can't stand behind this, man. I can't stand behind this. And I know offensive coordinators is extremely important. They can make or break a bad team or make or break a starting quarterback, but this is inexcusable. Inexcusable, man. I almost feel like I can't assert you in the conversations with Burrow, who's a great passer, Josh Allen, who's a great passer, Lamar Jackson, who's a great passer, Pat Mahomes, who's a great passer, even fucking Dak Prescott, who's a solid pass. I feel like I can't even add you to the conversation if you can't get a single yard and a half. Ain't no damn defense that good, bro. I'm sorry. Hey, you ain't playing the 85 Bears. Like, this was the Buffalo Bills team who's been struggling all year, man. Like, yeah, man. I, it's wild.
Yeah, man, it's just that's the Eagles, and you know what? Them fans are just so passionate. I know Cowboys fans are delusional. I accept that. I do accept that. But
Eagles
I
fans
really
are.
do believe Eagles fans are more delusional than us in a way. Because yeah, we say it's our year and when nothing happened. When they win, they still are delusional. Even when they lose, they pout like they've never achieved anything like a Super Bowl or been there for the last 5, 10 years. And then all they do is just boo when the product ain't good. You should be booing even with this W. Zero
Man.
passing yards in a half. Zero.
Facts, man. It's just yeah. Eagles fans they up there with y'all, man. They up there with a lot of Cowboys fans, and I know it's some level, just like it's some level-headed Cowboys fans, and just like it's some level-headed Eagles fans. I think fan base for fan base, whoo,
It's
y'all
up there. It's up
they like
there.
neck and neck. The only difference is they've won more recently than y'all have. That's the only difference.
Yeah, I give them
That's the
credit for
only
that.
difference.
But even when they win, they boo like they wasn't just there winning the Super Bowl last year. Bro, calm down. You can't be the Superman. You can't be everybody kryptonite year in and year out. That's how good the league is.
Man, ungrateful. They just ungrateful. Like, damn.
That's Eagles fans, man. They gonna get theirs though. They gonna get theirs in a couple weeks though.
Oh man, yeah, they about to get put out the first round. I can't believe it.
But we go ahead and move on to the next segment here. Talk about the playoffs, man. I want to know your thoughts on this. Should the NFL fix their playoff formatting for seeding wise in the NFL playoffs?
All right, so I think there's some flaws in the system and the way they decide the playoffs can be flawed at times. However, I genuinely like what we have here. Like I like what we have in terms of the format. Just because you sort out who's the best from the division. And if you don't win that division, then you don't go to the playoffs. You got to win your division in order to go. And yes, there might be some bad years where teams are stinking it up in the division, just like the NFC South, where they probably none of them teams should be in the playoffs. But unfortunately, whoever's in the playoffs, if you rank at number three and you got to play number six, which is a team from the NFC South, credit to you for finishing number three.
Yeah, that's the thing. I agree with you with teams that should get in as divisional winners. I think anybody that wins a division should get in. I just don't like the playoff formatting anymore in terms of if you win a division, you get to host a playoff game. I think that's kind of crazy. And right now, like you're looking at
Yeah.
it, the landscape of both the AFC and the NFC is crazy. Like we got a lot of 10 plus win teams. And then I'm looking at the AFC North. That division is this is the best division of football, always competitive. I'm not seeing it right now. The NFC South, man. I know that division. I ain't really throwing shade at your division too much, man. But I know the NFC South, like the Ravens could be hosting a playoff game at 9-8. They beat the Steelers. I mean, looks like the Panthers. Well, we'll get to that their situation, but if they lose, they could host a playoff game at 8-9. The Bucks win with some Saints help. They could host a playoff game at 8-9. And then that brings me to my point. Like last year, the Vikings were 14-3, and just because they didn't win the NFC North, they had to go on the road for the wild card, which was
Yeah.
insane at 14-3. Then you go back also in recent memory, 2022 when the Bucks won the NFC South. They were 8-9 hosting a playoff game on Monday Night Football against the Cowboys. Like I feel like how we should do the seeding should be the highest team, whatever your record is, that's what seed you should earn. And then you could deal with that with the tiebreakers. If a team beat another team and you have the same records, if you win your division, you should still get to the playoffs. That's no doubt. But if you're sitting at like 8-9, 9-8, and everybody else is way better than you record wise, I think you should be bumped down to the sixth or seventh seed. And one of those teams should host a playoff game rather than like someone being 8-9, 9-8, hosting a playoff game against possibly like just for example, like a 12-5 team or 11-6 team. I just think that's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
So it's tough. So my only critique about that is if we switch the format. Like, I think keeping the format this way, with the evolution of a lot of teams getting really good, we got a lot of extremely talented teams. I mean, this is the second year in a row we're about to have teams with 13 wins in the playoffs, multiple teams with 13 wins in the AFC. So I see a lot of these teams getting 12, 13 wins now. Some of them are in the same division, some of them aren't. But the way I
Yeah,
look at it is this just makes everything that much more important through the course of the regular season. Like this just increases the chances of us, or this decreases the chances of us getting more duds in the regular season of like meaningless games of, oh, you play a cross conference rival. You play a team that's not in your division. You have to beat that team now, because if y'all have the same record and someone else in your division has a record better than you, you don't get that home priority. Like it's
yeah,
going to be, did you beat that team who's also the same record as you right now? So I think that's the only reason why I really like it, is because it just makes all the regular season games a little bit more important, regardless of what the record is. And even when teams are starting off 3-0, 4-0, stuff like that, it's like you have to win these gimme type of games early on, and you just never know who might come to rise at the end of the season. Like who might go on a crazy run toward the end of the season and finish with the same record as you. So that's the only reason I really like it, because competition just stays heated. The playoff games is a little wild because, you know, it is strange that an 8-9 team might host an 11-win team, but it's like this team, they won that trash division. They won that trash division. And maybe there's an element to it. And like you said, maybe it's just like, okay, since they had a worse record, they get moved down. They're still in the playoffs, but they get moved down. Like maybe that's a way to resolve it. But I think personally, I like where the format is. I think it's very competitive. I think it keeps everybody on their toes. And if you win your division, that is a division championship. So you get home field advantage.
Yeah, there's some truth to that. Yeah, I like the points that you said. It's just like I feel like some teams like don't deserve, like you can even go back. Let's see, like the NFC West. I think
Mm.
we were looking at 2011. Yeah, 2011, at the year after the Saints won, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden the Seahawks won that division like 7-9, and they hosted a playoff. Now that year, like you said, it pays to win your division because they were trash all year long. And then you had the Marshawn Lynch run of the century where he broke like 8 to 9 tackles to score in the end
Dang.
zone. That home field advantage does pay off. Like I do believe if you get it, if you win your division, no matter how bad the division is, you are guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. Like there's no way you can't get in. It's just it sucks for teams like in the NFC West. Like as good as that division is, you look at
Yeah.
the Rams, like they got kicked to the curb because the 49ers are there, the Seahawks are there. Now you're looking at them
Dang.
possibly being a 6 or 7 seed in the NFC. It gets a little dicey. It gets a little dicey. But yeah, I do like the format. I think we should go in a different direction to spice things up. In a
Yeah,
way.
so I will. I'll give you this. I definitely. I do. I agree with you. I agree with you. I wouldn't be mad if San Fran or a Los Angeles Rams team who is 11-4, they have to go play at Panthers, and the league is like, no, Rams are getting the home field. They won 11 games. The better record gets the home priority. I wouldn't be mad at that in terms of the NFL format. As long as they keep division winners are in the playoffs, and then
Yeah.
whenever they reseed the teams and things like that, the teams that match up, give it to the better record team to get home field advantage. If they have the same record, then it goes priority in point total and win percentage. Then you can go down the
Yeah.
line of the technicalities that make this team better to get home field. But just based on record should kind of be that baseline, if anything. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that, especially if division winners continue to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I guess over the course of time, like I just said, the Seahawks when they won that game against the Saints that were the Super Bowl champions, a lot of people call them paper champions because they lost that game. But I guess with the format still, like it still creates that type of like chaos because like a team like the Panthers, they're not too bad, but they can still win this division at 8-9. And if you play someone like the Rams, well, I don't know how the season is going to finish out in the NFC, but just an example, they play the Rams again. That home field advantage could give them the spark they need because they already
Facts.
beat them there early on a few weeks ago. So like, I do like it. I just think like the way how we expanded the 7 to 17 games now, we should try something different to see what it's like. If it don't work in the favor of the league, then you go back to normal.
Yeah, I think I mean I'm okay with getting creative. I mean that's what the NFL has been doing over the past few years anyway. We look at the overtime rules, we look at the tackling rules, we look at the roughing the passer calls. Like
Holy
they've been
shit!
adjusting things all every year, every season they have been adjusting things, and I think it could be interesting if they flip the format a little bit. But the only thing I would not want to see change with this format is division winners not getting in the playoffs. To me, then it's like, all right,
Yeah,
now
that'd be wild.
it's like we're kind of taking the soul of what everyone is used to out of the playoffs.
Yeah, and especially you already play those division teams, the teams in your division twice a year. So like I think winning division is still important. And that's I mean, to
Yeah.
some teams that's like acknowledgement. Like the Cowboys, I've yet to see the Super Bowl since I've been alive. So like even when we win the NFC East, it means a little something, like a little acknowledgement for your season.
Hey, I agree. You ain't gotta explain that to me, brother. I agree. Hey, let the Falcons win the NFC South. I'm running my mouth. I don't care. I'm yelling. We run the South. We run the South. So I get it, man. And that's also a reason why I say they got to keep the division winners because for some teams that is an accomplishment. That is an accomplishment, and it brings it. It's no part of the NFL that's left out. You're bringing all teams together in the NFL. You're giving everybody a chance from each division of the NFL to have a shot at winning it if you keep all the divisions in there. And I think that's also why I like the format where it is now. But it can be some tweaks as long as we keep the division winners getting in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think this could be a conversation they have down. I think next year it's going to stay the same, but down the line, this could be a conversation that the league has to see if they'll switch things up because they're already talking about they want 18 games. You get
I
18
know.
games, you're looking at two bye weeks possibly. So yeah, the league's getting a little creative, but we'll see what happens down the line with this. But I think that was a pretty cool topic, and I like the answers that you said too. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was dope. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the next segment. So we're in the final week of the regular season, week 18. A lot of things are really wrapped up in the playoffs, AFC, NFC. But there's some games that matter in some win or go home scenarios, and there's some game that matters for seeding. So we'll go over 3 games for 3 game predictions. We'll start off with your division, Manny, NFC South. Now you guys could play I don't know if you've seen this. You guys could play the spoiler. If the Bucks win, they don't
Yeah.
control their own destiny. Because if y'all beat the Saints, that's it for them. I
It's
think
over with.
that is insane. So I want to know your thoughts on how you think this Bucks and Panthers game is going to go, and then how do you think your Falcons are going to play against the Saints?
So I'm gonna say this in terms of this weird predicament that the Panthers and the Buccaneers and the Falcons are in. I'm gonna say this. Panthers fans, y'all are so lucky we don't like the Saints. Y'all just so lucky we don't like the Saints. Because if it was the other way around, if it was the other way around, like if we had to beat y'all to get the Saints in there, I would be on board with hell no, we gotta lose this game. Like we gotta lose this game. So y'all are lucky it's the Saints. Cause now I'm like, all right, cool. I almost prefer the Panthers to get in because they've been struggling. They ain't been in the playoffs since I think 2015. They've been bad for a long time as well. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll take it. I don't hate the Panthers as much as I hate the New Orleans Saints. So it's a little different. So with that being said, I do think the Panthers will win. Hence, this is a watered down division, man. You can't really trust any team in this division. We've seen multiple teams in this division beat top 5 teams of the conference and lose to the bottom of the barrel in the conference at the same time. So you can't really trust anybody in this division. However, I think the Panthers are a little bit more promising. Usually, after Bryce Young has a struggling first quarter, he turns into Cam Newton turns into 2015 Cam Newton. He balls out, he locks in, does whatever he needs to do to get his reads down and just make the right plays. So Baker Mayfield has also been struggling as well. That offense has looked awful since Liam Cole has left. And it's clear that they definitely need some help, whether it's on the offensive line, protecting them, whether it's just the design. But I don't think Tampa Bay will be able to cook up enough. The same Baker Mayfield we've seen under Liam Cole, their old offensive coordinator. It's clear. It's clear it's a new day, and it's clear that offense is not ran the same. So I think the Panthers have been more consistent throughout the year, which just is nuts considering they're not even above 500. But I got the Panthers winning this, man.
Yeah, I was 50-50 about this game. I'm thinking which way to go because, like you said, both teams are low key starting to cool down in the wrong direction if you're gonna get in offensively. Like the Panthers, I'm looking at their last 3 games. Their offense has only scored 50 total points in the last 3 games. Like you can't have this momentum if you're gonna win the division and host a game for the playoffs. And then I'm looking at the Bucks, like it's like y'all division has the potential. I do believe. I think the Falcons got potential on both ends. I think the Panthers got potential for the future. The Bucks are there. It's just like you said, the Panthers they got some good wins, sneaky wins actually. The Rams at
Yeah.
home. You beat the Packers on the road. You beat the Cowboys at home. And then you look at the Bucks. This team started off 4-1, and now they're really on life support to win this division. So
Man.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna.
Baker. Go ahead.
What would you say?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna trust the Bucks. Not really confident in that answer, but I trust the Bucks. I trust Baker in some big spots. Like if he could throw the ball up for a 50-50 money ball to Mike Evans in the red zone, even
Yeah.
Ibuka. Like I think there's gonna be a tight game. But then if I'm gonna say the Bucks win, But then I think y'all gonna spoil the party, Manny. I think the
I
Bucks are
hope
gonna
so.
win, and then the Falcons beat the Saints, and all this was for nothing for the Bucks. They lost their own control of their destiny. Because all you had to do was beat the
Hey,
Miami Dolphins that didn't even start Tua. They started Quentin Ewers, and you still couldn't
man,
beat him.
and you
So,
blew it. You blew it.
yep.
This is why I say this is really what brings me back to these teams in the NFC South, man. They've beat the best of the NFC and they've also lost to the worst of the NFC. Like there's no consistency with any of these teams. Like they're bad, man. They're really bad. And it drives me crazy that the Falcons got swept by the Panthers because if they didn't get swept, they could potentially still
Oh
somehow
yeah,
get into
y'all
the
would,
playoffs
yeah.
because
Because
they would finish with the 8-9 record, just like the Panthers could potentially finish with, and just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could potentially finish with. So, like, that's really what drives me crazy is like the Falcons, if they didn't get swept against the Panthers, we will be
I'll
talking
be in.
about them possibly getting in the playoffs. So, this division, man, if there was any doubt, I said it off air, but if there was any doubt of which division is the worst in football this year, it is unfortunately the NFC South. And I'm like embarrassed that I am a fan of a team from the NFC South this year because it is a tragedy. And to be in the Panthers position where it don't matter what the hell you do, as long as a different team win, like it's
That is crazy,
insane.
bro.
It's insane when you have multiple chances to close out and solidify the division. And same with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's a shame, man. It's just a tragedy over in the NFC South.
Yeah, bro, that's actually really crazy because they're low key on paper. It would be considered to be a three-way tie if the Panthers, the Bucks, and the Falcons finish 8-9, but then they swept y'all, man. And I quite
Bro.
frankly, I honestly want to say if y'all had at least one up on them, y'all probably would win the division. But honestly, I think I would like to see the Falcons in the playoffs if possible. If not possible,
Hey,
I would
hey,
take y'all over the Bucks and the Panthers in right about now.
boy, put the Falcons in the playoffs and put them on Monday Night Football with the red helmets. Woo-hoo! We getting the 50 ball and going to the next round. You you put them boys in red helmets and put them in prime time on Monday Night Football, they will win you a football game. They will win a football game. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I seen a statistic. I think it goes all the way back to 2008. The Falcons are 14-3 in red helmets. I don't know what it is about them red
That's
helmets,
crazy.
but
And y'all play well in prime time too.
bro, I don't know what it is, but we look like two completely different teams. I swear, this is not the Falcons team. What I've seen against the Rams is the second half is what I've seen all season. Every Sunday, the second half is what I've seen. Take away a whole first half against the Rams and just look at the second half. That's what I've seen all season from the Falcons.
That's crazy, bro.
It's
That's
nuts.
that's the NFC South, yo. That's honestly, I don't know. I know the NFL comes out with the schedules. Like, yeah, you decide every game in the final season or the final week is to be decided, just in case. But I think the people that were ESPN or whoever, the broadcasting groups, they should have really thought about this. Because you get the Panthers and the Bucks the first game on week 18, Saturday afternoon.
Oh my
Why
god,
would you do that? Because if the Bucks win, it's nothing. They gotta wait a whole 24 hours later
man!
to see their own destiny. Like
Bucks finna get
I think they should
nervous.
have put y'all back on prime time for the
Yeah, honestly, just because the Falcons game gonna be more important than the Bucks and the
yeah.
Panthers.
That they should have just been the deciding factor that because that could have spoiled it all.
Yeah, and this is why I say that the Panthers are lucky. They're lucky we don't like the Saints. They are just lucky because if it was the other way around where the Saints could get in the playoffs if we lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I would pray we lose because I wouldn't want to see the Saints in the playoffs. I wouldn't want to, and that's the hater watch. Call me a hater, whatever. Yeah, I'm on hater alert. I don't want to see the Saints go to the playoffs. Definitely not before the Falcons.
Yeah, man. I still can't. All Saturday, I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna be like, damn. I know it's stressful for the Bucks. You gotta wait a whole day later to see
Uh,
what's gonna happen.
I couldn't
Dang.
imagine. I couldn't imagine. I'd be so stressed the whole day. I bet, like you win, you play a good game. I mean, just think about it, Tom. You know, division games are always crazy.
Yeah,
Like
go either way.
it comes down to the wire. Let's say Bucks win by a field goal, a walk-off
All that
field
drama.
goal, a walk-off field goal, and then a different team that you're dependent on to lose goes in and they smack their opponent by 30. Then it's like, oh, like it don't even matter.
That's crazy, man. I cannot get over that.
That's wild.
Next game. Now this game's gonna mean a lot. Both teams are in. This could be the Saturday night game between the Seahawks and the 49ers. Winner not only wins the NFC West, but they get the number one seed in the NFC, and the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC goes through Seattle or San Francisco. So who you got in this game?
Man, this is going to be a battle. I find myself going back and forth between Seahawks, 49ers. Like it was obviously a duel last time they played.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought it was just it was absolute cinema. Honestly, that last game they played each other, it was absolute cinema. We seen the Seahawks go against some good opponents, and it was elite. So I don't know, man. I still go back and forth, but I'm going I'm going Seahawks, man. I'm
Mm,
I'm going Seahawks to win it. I think Seahawks win it because they just have a more solid defense. The defense is also healthier than what the 49ers have been.
yeah.
Um, and I know this isn't the playoffs yet where either team will get eliminated, but for number one seed, I think Seahawks ended up winning this game here. Also, another factor for me that goes into it is last time these teams played, I believe it was week one. And the 49ers ended up winning that ball game. And it's hard to beat a team twice in a row in the same division. Like it's so difficult to do. And ultimately, I think this is just gonna be a little different. I know it's in San Francisco, which is tough too, but I got Seahawks winning this ball game.
Yeah, it's tight, man. It's really tight because both teams are actually riding a six-game winning streak. So they both coming in with all the momentum in the world. I agree with you. I think the Seahawks pull it off on the road. I know the 49ers beat them earlier on the season. I just don't see the 49ers sweeping the Seahawks this year. And the Seahawks, after that win against the Rams on Thursday Night Football, overcoming a 16-point deficit in the fourth quarter, they've
Man,
won me over. I 100% believe in them now. I hate to say it, but I 100% agree with the way how Sam Darnold can lead this team into the playoffs. I think
yeah,
on the road Saturday night against the 49ers, the offensive game plan is going to be really good. They should start off early, put their foot on the gas pedal. I think they should run the football. I think get your number one wide receiver, Jackson Smith and Jingba going. I think they can have success. And I think between the two good head coaches, it's going to be Mike McDonald who wins his side of the ball, his side of the battle on the defensive side of the ball, coaching against Kyle Shanahan's offensive style. And I just feel like for the 49ers, this goes back to your point. The Seahawks are the more healthier team. They got more talent on that side of the ball right now.
yeah.
And I think this is going to be a game where Robert Saleh and the 49ers defense are going to miss Nick Bosa and Fred Warner more than ever. So I lean towards the Seahawks in this game as well.
Yeah, I think the injuries are definitely going to play a part. And a big thing here with this game, Seahawks and 49ers is like 49ers, they're a really good passing team. I know they're top 10 in passing as of right now. However, Seahawks are elite defensively, not only passing, but they're also elite rushing defense as well. They're a good run defense, and a lot of times it's not even about the statistics of what this team can do on a per game basis or what they're doing here and what they're doing here. Sometimes even like myself, sometimes we all just get too invested in the numbers when a lot of these games come down to who can control the clock more. And what ways do we control the clock? You gotta run the ball. You have to run the ball. And I mean, this is not me saying 49ers are a bad defensive run team because they're a pretty solid defensive run team as well. Seahawks is just as solid as also. So it'll just be interesting to see what happens. But I think just from an injury standpoint and a durability standpoint, I think Seahawks might take it, man. And a lot of people still underestimating the Seahawks right now, and nobody's, at least mainstream media, is not really giving the Seahawks the credit they deserve. So I, I'm going Seahawks.
Yeah, that was tough because I'm like, damn, the way the 49ers just played, but that Seahawks, they're going to be really
Yeah,
prepared. I don't see them dropping this game because you drop this game, you could be looking honestly at a
gonna be on the
fifth seed.
road.
Yeah, you're on the road. I mean, you could play the Panthers or the Bucks in the first round, but who wants to go on the road when you can use the extra week of rest and
Yeah,
be at home? The road to the Super Bowl rides through you in the NFC. So yeah, they're definitely going to be battling out there.
facts. Yeah, it's man, that's gonna be must see TV.
Yeah, and then the Sunday night game, you got the Steelers versus Ravens. Winner take all. Winner wins the AFC North. Loser goes home. This is one of the best rivalries in the league. Manny, I want to know your thoughts of who you believe is going to
Look,
win this game.
I'm gonna tell you like this, man. And I first and foremost, I don't want to encourage anyone to make any bets. I'm not encouraging any sports betting advice. And this is gonna sound crazy, but I think sometimes we just got to listen to history and watch history repeat itself over and over again. Destiny has called this to happen multiple times, and the way this season has lined up has just lined up for destiny to fall in place. I I might, I'm not going to actually do it, but if I had it like that, I would bet my bottom betting dollar that the Baltimore Ravens win this game, mainly because I just know the Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna finish 9-8. It's destiny. We can't get around it. Mike Tomlin is gonna finish 9-8 again. Again. I just know it's gonna happen. So again, not sports betting advice. I don't want to encourage anybody to place any bets. All I'm basing this logic on pure history of what happens with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's secured his winning season already. And what has he done since he's secured that winning season? Lose.
Yep.
He's lost. It is going to happen again. And they're not getting in the playoffs. And this is what I'm hoping happens after the Ravens end up winning and going to the playoffs. From then, I hope the Steelers fire Mike Tomlin and the Falcons pick him up. That's a different conversation. Different conversation. But Mike Tomlin can't escape that 9-8 destiny, man. I'm going Ravens for the win. Ravens gonna win.
Yeah, man, we're on the same page. Look, before I even get into the prediction, that's funny you said that about Mike Tomlin because once he gets to the 500 record, even
Bro,
though he's done it for nearly 20 years, that's impressive. But Steelers fans, you have 6 Super Bowl rings. When are you going to let that little pity pat stat go? Like Mike
man.
Tomlin has not won a playoff game since Barack Obama was in office, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are historically one of the best teams of all time. You should want more for your franchise. That could be a pity pat stat that Browns fans, no disrespect, Titans fans, Saints fans, like that's what they could. Falcons fans,
I'll take
like
it.
that's
Shit,
something
I'll
y'all
take
gonna be
it.
proud of. If you're a Steelers fan, Cowboys fan, 49ers fan, Patriots fan, from a historic winning percentage wise and all the Super Bowls that we've won, that should be a pity pat stat you do not care about. But
Facts.
look, Manny, I think something's going to happen here. The winner is not only going to get in, but the loser of this game is going to be out. And I think the loser of this game at the head coaching position is going to be fired. I think John Harbaugh is going to get fired if they lose. And I think Mike Tomlin is going to get fired if the Steelers lose. But I'm going to go with the Ravens here. Look, I don't give a damn who's starting at the quarterback position, Lamar Jackson or Tyler Huntley. Run the damn football. Run
That
the
part,
ball down the Steelers' throat with Derrick Henry. He just had 4 damn touchdowns in
man.
Lambeau Field. Like they got to put it together, man.
Against the Browns too. They
Put
play.
it together, man. Just run the damn football. It ain't that complicated. But really though, like I did see the Ravens and Steelers game a couple weeks ago. Like the Steelers, they won that game. They did look pretty good against them. But what's going to hurt them this time is the Steelers not having DK Metcalf because for whatever reason he
Yep.
wanted to punch that Lions fan in the face. It's going to cost you
Man,
because if DK was out there on the road in Cleveland against the Browns, they would have won that game, and we wouldn't even be
man.
talking about a winner go home situation. But you didn't have DK, so you're looking at the Steelers, not really trying to talk about basketball, but in a football standpoint, they're gonna have to play small ball. All their other receiving options are smaller. Your big tight end Washington, 300 plus pounds, just broke his arm. He's out of this game. So you're looking
Yep.
at the receiving options. You're gonna have to play small ball. You got to run a lot of screen passes with Aaron Rodgers. You're gonna dump off a lot of passes to the running backs and the flats. You don't have that one-on-one coverage look that your big body receiver DK Metcalf could go against a Marlon Humphrey or Nate Wiggins in this situation. I think the
Yeah.
Ravens, they did what they're supposed to do, and the script is in. They beat the Packers last Saturday. They're going to beat the Steelers, and Mike Tomlin's 500 run in Pittsburgh is over. And Manny, I was actually going to say that he could end up in Atlanta. You never know. He could
I
up
would
in Atlanta.
love, I would personally love that. I would love, and I would love for Tomlin to get fired, Atlanta Falcons to pick him up as head coach. Let's go get Eric Bieniemy as OC. Like I trust. I'm ready to cook up. I'm ready to cook up of schemes. I've been in off season mode for like 6 weeks. Let's not forget. I mean, my team been done.
Hey,
My,
yo.
I've been in off-season mode for like 6 weeks, so this is all I'm doing week after week is cooking up where we need to fix these pieces. But that's a different story. Back to Tomlin and Steelers and Ravens. I agree with your point of whoever loses this game, they're getting fired. And I think
Yeah, bro.
even going to the postseason, once they go to the postseason, I think after they're eliminated in a wild card, whichever one of these teams do, and let's be honest, both will probably get eliminated in a wild card no matter who they play
Got to
in
play
this
the
tough
Texans.
AFC. Exactly. Texans, elite defense. CJ Stroud been trying to step it up a little bit, but the offense been finally getting a tiny bit of groove to it. So I really see either of these teams, if not both of these teams, losing their head coach after this season.
Yeah, man, and for the Ravens too, if they blow this game, there's no way you could bring back John Harbaugh because you finished the season at 8-9. This if they lose this game, they would finish at 8-9. And honestly, like I wasn't betting on it, but even on the podcast, I was talking about one team that I had really true belief in to win it all was the Ravens. I was confident on them on
Yeah.
offense side of the ball. They really haven't turned it up all year long. Lamar Jackson has not been 100%. But even with the receivers, like Zay Flowers is a damn Pro Bowler, more fumbles than touchdowns. Like Derrick
Right.
Henry, there's been too many mistakes. Like the offensive line has not been good. You look at that Patriots loss, like you could have won that game if you had Derrick Henry on the field for more than 24 snaps. Then I'm looking at the
Yeah.
Ravens defense. Why the hell was it the second year in a row that Zach Orr was the defensive coordinator? They started off slow. They didn't know how to play defensive football for the first half of the season. That's another mistake. And then for whatever reason in the John Harbaugh era, they have dropped so many fourth quarter leads when they were up by double
Yeah.
figures, double digits. I just think you go 8-9 a year that you really could have won it all. He's gonna get fired, and I look. I wish nothing for the best for the Ravens because I do like to see him play in person. But like I feel like their time has passed. Like I feel like from
Yeah.
2019 to now was their best opportunity to get one Super Bowl, and they failed. And
You,
I think if the Ravens lose this game, he's out. I think the only way John Harbaugh saves his job is if you win this game against the Steelers, you play the Texans at Baltimore, you win that game against one of the best defense in the league. That's the only way you keep your job. You lose that game, you're out of there.
and I think even then, it's still a debate on if he should still keep his job or not. Because I mean, you still underperform. This is a Ravens team that is built for Super Bowls, bro. Like it shouldn't be no losing in a divisional round or if this team makes the playoffs. And you look around in this division, this team still should have won the division. Ravens, it shouldn't even have been a if they win the division or anything. Joe Burrow was out. The
Yeah.
Browns have had no quarterback. The Steelers were up and down per usual. The Ravens should have won this division. I know Lamar Jackson was out and whatever, but they still have more than enough to win this division. And I think it's it. I, so here's my thoughts on it's still related to the Ravens, but when I think about the Ravens, you know, recently there's been an influx of conversations about Lamar Jackson possibly leaving
Oh,
and, possibly wanting to get a trade or whatever the case is, him wanting to be in a different city, playing with the Dolphins or going here and going there. I truthfully think the reason we're witnessing a lot of these conversations and seeing these rumors pop up of Lamar Jackson wanting to possibly leave the Baltimore Ravens is because everyone wants Jim Harbaugh gone. They want change in that locker room. That this is just what I internally believe is happening. I don't have any sources to confirm anything, but this is what I imagine is going on and why we're seeing these rumors flying around of Lamar Jackson wanting to leave. And
Yep.
your franchise quarterback, your franchise quarterback who's built his career in this area and in this city, wanting to leave. Why would he want to leave? What good reason could there be for him wanting to go? It's not like the Ravens front office hasn't brought in multiple people. I mean, they gave you Derrick Henry. Before that, you had you had crazy duo at running back before that because you had Ingram back there. You had good receivers. They've always gave you pieces that you needed as a quarterback. So to me, it's not like the front office is doing Lamar bogus where he doesn't have pieces to succeed. That's a different conversation. I genuinely think it's coming from we need this head coach gone in order to win. Like we're not seeing eye to eye of where we need to be in order to get to the Super Bowl and win it. And when we're on the stages that can get us to the Super Bowl, something is not clicking where he's as locked in as I am, or I'm as locked in as he. Something's not clicking. So it needs to be something else. And that's the reason why I really think we're seeing a lot of these rumors between Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. So I just know it's a ticking time bomb right now. Something's big is going to happen with the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, something definitely is because it's a lot going on with the Ravens, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, Manny. It's funny that every time the Ravens are not in the position they should be, it's always reports that Lamar wants out or someone's going to get fired. I mean, now we're having several conversations about John Harbaugh possibly not coming back. There's new reports that Lamar Jackson is possibly falling asleep in meetings, some off the wall things. They had to adjust the times and practice times for the Ravens. Like we're seeing off the wall things, but it always happens when they self destruct, when they're not doing what they're supposed to. I can go back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when they were supposed to play, where they did play the Bengals on the road in the wild card round. They had to start Tyler Huntley because Lamar wasn't healthy. Contract negotiations or not, Lamar did request a trade during the springtime. All this happens when they aren't supposed to be doing, when they're not doing what they're supposed to do every time. And now we're having a question of, is this back injury really that bad? Because if now we're having a whole different conversation because if Lamar doesn't play in Pittsburgh, regardless if you win that game or not, I hate to say it, I would trade him. That's sending a strong message to the team. That would be back-to-back games and win or die situations. You are not out there. Yeah, he probably couldn't play against Green Bay. We get that. But then this Pittsburgh Steelers game, this is really win or go home. You mean to tell me you can't suit up and go out there for your guys with a bruised back injury? I never had a bruised back, so I don't know. But I'm just saying, every time something goes wrong with the Ravens, we hear these crazy reports about Lamar Jackson. And now you're seeing pros call him out, like Rodney Harrison. Like I was watching the Peacock show against the Ravens and the Patriots a week or so ago after that game. He was getting on Lamar. Like, hey, you're not 23, 25 years old no more. You need to take care of your body. You need to reach out to some all-time greats like Tom Brady, etc., to see how they lasted in the game longevity-wise and not be sidelined when your team needs you the most, especially in the month of December. There's been so many times where Lamar's been sick, injured, unavailable when the team needs him in December when they're scratching and clawing for a playoff spot or the AFC North. Like, it's crazy though, but for real, I really would be honest. And I love Lamar, but that's sending a strong message. If you are not out, can you imagine though, man?
I'm
Imagine
shocked, bro.
they
I'm
lose this,
shocked.
they lose this game, and they have to start Huntley, and Lamar could have played. That's all hell is gonna break loose. All hell is gonna break loose because even if they get rid of John Harbaugh, Lamar is going to be a $70 million cap hit for the team next year with the contract he's got. So you got to make some decisions. I'm just saying that's just sending a strong message that you don't want to be there no more.
It might be more so of a statement though. Like if he doesn't play, I mean if he can't go, he can't go. Like,
Yeah, I'll give
you
him
know,
that. If he
if
can't
he
go,
can't go, I don't know what's actually going on if he's trying to, get traded. But if he is actually trying to get traded, That could be one big way to make sure you're not on that team next year. You don't play in a potential must-win game, and I mean after that, the team's gonna want to most likely get rid of you, especially if they know you are healthy. They're gonna look to get rid of you, and they ain't gonna have no choice but to get rid of you.
Yep.
And his value is high. Shoot, I give away half my team for Lamar Jackson. But that's also what's crazy. That's all I got, and then I'll let it go. That's also what's crazy. So anytime the Ravens underperform and they're not succeeded, it's oh Lamar's not doing this. Lamar's doing it. He's doing this. He's not good. He's this that. We gotta forget. We can't forget, man. We can't forget the trajectory of where this franchise was before Lamar Jackson stepped
Yeah.
in for Joe Flacco.
Yep.
This is the only issue I have with like people getting on Lamar and vets coming back and saying, "Oh well, Lamar has to do it. He got to do it." Like Lamar could retire from football and he would go down as a legend in Baltimore. Like
He'd
it's
be a Hall of Famer, to be honest.
exactly he'd be a Hall of Famer. So it's like we got to sometimes we got to slow down on throwing a hammer down on a lot of these players because Lamar Jackson. I mean, he without the Ravens wouldn't be anything without Lamar Jackson. They would be in contention for a top five pick every single year if Lamar Jackson had not stepped in to save this franchise.
And that's true. And that's the thing. It gets so dicey because why does it have to come down to this point every single time we are talking about this man possibly leaving when they don't do what they're supposed to do?
Yeah.
It's messy, and I agree because if he was up for grabs, if you don't have a Joe
Man,
Burrow, shit, even the Bengals might even call it this. If you don't have a
man.
Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, everybody in the league is gonna be on the phone with Lamar Jackson to get him.
What you need? Who you want? How many picks you want?
Yep.
Like, yeah, it's crazy.
It's going to be interesting, but that that's $70 million cap hit. Like now, if things go good, let's just say if he does play and they win, okay, you lose the playoff game, you get rid of John Harbaugh. You could either extend the contract or they would have to restructure his deal. I don't know if he would want to restructure his deal or not because he knows how much he means to him. And I think his mother's still his agent, so I don't
Mhm.
know. It's going if they lose this game, it's going to get ugly. It's going to be an ugly off season. It's going to be really brutal.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. It's I don't know exactly what it's gonna be, but there's a ticking time bomb in Baltimore right now. There's a ticking time bomb. Whether that's Lamar Jack, it's gonna be some sort of big move, and that's whether Lamar Jackson is gone somewhere or some other pieces get moved around or the coaching changes. It's gonna be some big move where somebody who's been with the Ravens for over 5 years, he's out of there.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy. I think for anybody, all teams, it's going to be a crazy off season. There's a lot of stories, but I think this is going to be the biggest storyline for the off season. What's going to go down with the Ravens?
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
But we'll go ahead and move on to the final segment. We're going to pivot over here to the world of basketball and the NBA world. So we'll be sharing our top five NBA teams currently in the NBA. Man, there's been some good basketball going on, man. I know I sometimes I get caught up trying to keep up with the football, college football, basketball all at the same time, but I've been seeing a lot of good basketball. So I'm curious to know who's your top five teams currently in the NBA.
Yeah, there are some very elite teams, and it's kind of the same way with me right now, man. I'm fully invested in football, but I don't get to talk about basketball as much, just because it's mainly just trying to focus on the football content right now. But I've been whenever I cut on a game, I'm witnessing some pretty good basketball.
Yeah.
So top five teams, man, it's tough. Um, in no order. Do I have to give an order? Because
You don't have to give it order.
okay,
It could be
thank God.
five. Yeah.
Thank God. Okay, because I'm like, I didn't prepare for an order. I think it's easy to identify the number one team. Even though I very much dislike this team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they are the best team in basketball. So top five, Oklahoma City Thunder is in there. Again, no order. Top five, Oklahoma City Thunder, Detroit Pistons. I think the
Mm,
New York Knicks are in there. I think the San Antonio Spurs are in there.
mm.
And I could be foolish for saying this, but I think the Raptors have potential to get in there. I don't want to put them in there. So the four is still OKC, Pistons, Spurs, Knicks, and I'm going Nuggets, man.
Mm. So
I'm going.
so you got
I'm
so you got oh what'd you say?
Actually, I'm taking the Nuggets out. I want Rockets in there. I'm going Rockets because
Oh,
Rockets is a better defensive team. Rockets is a really good defensive team so far this year. So my top five, just to confirm it, I'm going Oklahoma City in no order. No order. Top five is Oklahoma City Thunder, Detroit Pistons, New York Knicks, San Antonio Spurs, Houston Rockets.
you know what? That's a good top five because honestly, we almost had the same teams minus the Rockets. So that's a good list. I think that's a really good list. My five, I got them in order, and this was hard to think of, so I had to take some time. All right. So one, I'm gonna go with the San Antonio Spurs. I think the Spurs are the best team in basketball right now. It's still early, but right now I have to say they're the best team in basketball. I think they only have 9 losses on the season right now. As we
Okay.
talk about this, they just came off an 8 game winning streak. They lost last night, but I think they're a top five team offensively, defensively on both ends of the court. They got Victor Wembanyama playing at elite level. That man is an alien. That man is a 2K player as a guard, as a
Yeah.
big man playing like a guard, handles like a guard, shoot like a guard. I mean, it's crazy. They got De'Aaron Fox. I'm impressed with how Stephon Castle has played. And the crazy thing is, they defeated the Oklahoma City Thunder 3 times in a 12-game span. 2 crucial games in the semifinals of the
Mm.
NBA Cup semifinals tournament, and then Christmas Day they sent a statement to the league defeating the Oklahoma City Thunder on the road Christmas Day. Two, I do agree with you. Oklahoma City Thunder are definitely top five. They dominated the entire league this season, other than the San Antonio Spurs. I think they've only lost 2 other games to the other teams in the league, but they have several blowout victories. They know how to win close games, blowout victories, and
Yeah.
SGA is playing at elite level still. I think they're still a good team on both ends of the court. Third best team now, they could fall off now. That would be the Nuggets. They did impress me with that overtime victory against the Timberwolves Christmas Day. They had 3 starters out and that impressive Nikola Jokic triple double, one of the best triple doubles ever. But he suffered a
Yeah.
knee injury against the Miami Heat. Now I was watching the Falcons and the Rams game, so I saw the highlights this morning of it. And that knee injury looks like he's gonna miss the next 3 or 4 weeks of a non-contact injury, so their stock could go down. Four, I'm gonna go with the New York Knicks. They're the NBA Cup champions, regular season champions, whatever you want to call them. I think they look pretty good right now in the East, and they picked up an impressive win against the Cavs, erasing a 17-point deficit that they were in to defeat them at home. And then, Manny, I'll go five. The Pistons. I'm really impressed with your
I take it.
Pistons. I think they've been one of the most consistent teams in the Eastern Conference with the Knicks this year. That group is special. I think you guys could do a lot of good things, and you guys are really good defensively. I like to say you guys
Yeah.
are a top five right now defensively, but I think this group with Cade Cunningham and company, you guys learned a lot from that playoff run that you had last year. You guys will
Mhm.
definitely be higher than what the 6 seed you guys were last year. You guys will definitely be way higher than that top three team in the East. I think with this group, you guys go on a deep run. So that's my top five right now. A little hard, but my honorable mention would be
Mhm.
the Rockets or the Timberwolves. So yeah, that's my top five right now.
One more. What's the full top five? One more time. I just want to
So
make sure I got all the
I,
teams correct.
I got Spurs at one, OKC at two, Nuggets at three, but they're about to drop. But well, I was thinking of it. I thought they were top five team, but Nuggets at three, Knicks at four, and Pistons at five.
Yeah, that's not a bad top five, man.
Now Rockets, I was knocking on the door, but I was like, let me go ahead and push the Nuggets in there just because I was so impressed with them until that Nikola Jokic injury. But yeah, not Nuggets, Rockets. I like what I've seen from the Rockets though this year.
Yeah, I think they figured out a way, definitely just to maximize the use out of everybody that they have and that they're playing on the floor. And the crazy part is they can really evolve, man. They got a lot of young talent there, and KD. I've always thought KD is one of the easiest players to assimilate into a game plan, just because the man he can play off ball, he can play on ball, he can score from perimeter, inside, he plays defense, he's good in transition. Like he does a lot of things where he's not ball dominant. So I've always thought he was easy to assimilate on any team. And Rockets are kind of showing that is the situation, and that's the case here.
Yeah, and I think it is easy to game plan for one of the best small forwards of all time, one of the best scorers of all time, because he can score in any way. But then that opens the door for the young players, like you said, like Sangoon, he's stepping up this year. Amon Thompson, he is really good on both ends. Like he's really stepping up. What's that
Mhm.
guy's name from Auburn? No, not Jabari Parson.
Jabari Smith.
Jabari Smith. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
really good for them. Like they got a lot of good pieces out there in Houston.
Yeah, I mean, they got a squad. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them lock in like closer toward the season and finish as one of the top seeds because I think they're like sixth or I think they're fifth or sixth right now. Um, I don't know exactly which one, but I wouldn't be surprised if they finish like in a solidified playoff spot and not a play-in spot.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be one of the final teams, one of the final four teams. I'm looking at them. I definitely think OKC is going to be a final four team in the
Oh
West.
yeah.
The Spurs will, if they keep this up, they'll be up there. So there's a lot to like right now in the West. And then the Knicks, like even though a lot of people were upset with like Tom Thibodeau leaving, and why would you fire him after they get to the Eastern Conference for the first time in like since the '90s? I think Mike Brown has honestly done a good job coaching. He's not
Yeah.
tiring out these starters. He's mixing in rotation players like Robinson and coming off the bench as a big man to help out. And sometimes you can run big man situations with Carl Anthony Towns and him on the court. That helps for them. They get what's that white boy's name? Tyler.
The shooter. Woo,
Yeah, dude
man,
like that.
he put on a show. He put on a show the other day, man.
Jordan Clarkson. They got off the like they got a lot of rotational players and he's using them. Like he's not burning out the starters.
Yeah.
Like I think they're right where they need. They don't need to be like the best team right now. They're right where they need to be in the Eastern Conference right now.
Yeah, it's crazy because in the Eastern Conference they're a dominant team. And I noticed this too about the Pistons. Pistons, number one seed in the Eastern Conference. They take care of business in the East. The only teams I'm afraid of in terms of that the Pistons might play or that the Knicks play is on the Western Conference. The tiers is just different, man. It's just
Yeah,
the
it
it's
is.
just different, man. Like Knicks probably have a more well-rounded team, and I still think they have a more well-rounded team than the Pistons, even though the Pistons are number one seed. However, when I'm watching them play a cross conference matchup against a team in the West, they're just a little bit deeper because they have scoring outside of one particular person. Whereas the Pistons, they don't really have much scoring outside of Kate. Duran has his moments where he's giving you a 20-20 game or a 20-10 game. And then sometimes we see Ivy come up with a little 17 points, things like that. But in terms of someone you can count on each night to give you 22, 23 points on a second hand, Pistons ain't really got that. And that's the biggest difference from what I see with the Knicks and the Pistons right now in the Eastern Conference. And although the Pistons are number one seed, I still think Knicks have a deeper roster from head to toe. And I think they're a little bit better.
Yeah, yeah, and that could honestly be the Eastern Conference Finals. The way how things are playing out, because I thought
Yeah.
the Cavs are gonna pick up where they left off last year. I said it when I was talking about the Knicks and Cavs game. They fell off defensively. They've been battling through injuries. So it's like that's the thing about the NBA. Like the crazy thing is we're like 6 months away from the NBA Finals. So there's like a lot of basketball to be played because of how long the season is. So I think it'll be interesting. I think the Pistons can continue to improve. I think, like you said, like another dominant scorer alongside Cade Cunningham would be nice for them. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It definitely is going to be interesting to see how things play out in the NBA.
Yeah. I want to say I would love to count it and say, oh, Pistons Knicks conference finals. But dog, honestly, some of these other dogs in the Eastern Conference scare me a little bit. One of those dogs being the Toronto Raptors. I know their record doesn't really show it and all, and they don't get the hype for it, but Raptors can be a real nightmare matchup for a lot of different teams in the Eastern Conference because that is a very lengthy team. And I mean, they got guys on there who hoop, man. Emmanuel Quickly, he's a bucket. And then you
Mhm.
got RJ Barrett. Sometimes he show up and decide to give you a 25 piece, whatever the case is. I don't know what his average is so far this season, but Brandon Ingram has been playing tremendous as well. He's been a key piece, and they got a lot of solid bigs over there with the Raptors too. So, Like they're a good rebounding team. So Scotty
Yeah,
Barnes, I mean, he had like Scotty Barnes had like 25 boards the other day, which is just crazy from
that's
a
crazy.
three. So, you
Oh
know,
yeah, I did see that triple. What do you have, a triple double?
yeah, like
Yeah, that stat line was crazy.
man, this is why I say. So I know the Raptors don't get a lot of hype, but I truly think the Raptors can shock a lot of people come postseason in terms of what they do. Granted, they got to stay healthy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I thought the East was going to be like an easy, not an easy conference, but I thought like with the Jason Tatum injury for the Celtics, clearly they're not the same. And the Indiana Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton, like I thought it'd be wide open. Now you're seeing some sneaky teams like the 76ers stay healthy, they could be in the
Yeah.
mix. Now you're seeing the Raptors emerge. Like this could be an interesting when we get to the second half, it could be really interesting and especially in the playoffs to see how everything's going to play out in the NBA.
Yeah, I like I said, it'll be interesting, but that second half gonna determine everything.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting and definitely going to be good for hoops once we get to the second half. But we'll go ahead and close out the episode. Manny, before we close out the episode, where can we find the Run podcast on different platforms?
Yes, sir. Check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or literally wherever you get your podcasts or wherever you listen at the Run Podcast. Just search up on social media at the Run Podcast. If you're looking for the pod on your podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is, search up the Run with Manny Wilson. You can go on YouTube, search up that same thing, the Run with Manny Wilson. I'll pop up. On social media, Instagram, TikTok, all of that at the Run Podcast.
Yeah, check out the Run podcast, man. Manny is a great podcaster, very consistent man. I'm proud of the
Appreciate
work
it.
that he's been doing. So if you're into sports and you're here, go ahead and check out Manny Wilson, the host of the Run podcast.
I appreciate that, man. And I appreciate you for having me on. I feel the same way about you because you be consistent as well, man.
Yeah, gotta find a way, find a way. But
Right.
that's all the time we have for you guys today. This is your host Thomas Tyree and the host of the Run podcast, Manny Wilson signing off. And I'll see you guys on next week's episode.